We're going to bring on our first guest, and it's an awesome guest. It's Billy Horschel. And before we bring him on, I want to show this clip of him getting a pep talk from his daughter.
I know we can.
And you're better in single point.
Okay, sounds good. Give me kisses. Mwah.
All right, Billy Horschel joining us live on the show. There he is, Billy.
Appo, how we doing, buddy?
I've never seen that before in a PJ Tour event. I've never seen you walk over and give your daughter a little pep talk. I mean, you seem to be enjoying this like maybe the most.
Yeah, listen, as I said, it's, could never imagine, 3 years ago we'd be playing golf in an indoor arena into a big screen with video boards and music, very similar to other sporting events, other sports like football and basketball and baseball. So, so this has been fun. It's relaxing in the sense that it's not the most important thing in my life, like the PGA Tour, where I'm trying to, compete against the best players and their legacy and everything else. But there is something about this new adventure that if we carry on throughout the decade, it's going to be something new and additive to the game of golf. It's not overtaking the game of golf. It's something that's additive that we can enjoy doing, playing with our friends on the same team and just enjoying playing in front of fans that are heckling us and cheering for us, and there's music playing. Like it's a cool adventure that's got started. And listen, I've had a blast from day one with it.
But it was competitive in the final. Like, you're not reacting like that if you don't care. So I got to think, did it like kind of ratchet up in the playoffs?
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, I mean, as I said from the very beginning, I was never worried about the competitive aspect of it because we're ultra competitive athletes playing a sport that we love. When you add in, losing to your friends or to another PGA Tour player, you don't want to give them any more ammo when you're having, little banter back and forth and trying to one up one another. So you're going to be competitive. You don't want to lose. And I mean, I think Shane Lowry said it when we beat them a couple of weeks ago. He said, obviously he cared a lot about it, but he was like, I could never imagine how pissed off I am right now that we lost to Atlanta. Like, I'm really pissed off. And so that shows to you that, listen, at the end of the day, our competitive fires are going to come out and we're going to want to win, and we're going to want to beat the other team and players as badly as we would if we were on the PGA Tour.
I want to ask you about your putting routine. I almost get kind of seasick. Well, what's the thought process going with the pump fakes?
Yeah, so really I'm not good. As you see most guys, they set their putter behind the ball with one hand and they put the other hand on and then they get in their setup. I've never been good with taking my hands off the putter and then trying to get into my setup. So I get into my setup from the side and then I just slowly inch my way in. Sometimes it's a bigger inch, sometimes it's a smaller inch. It just depends on how well I'm feeling, in sense of the way the feel is at that moment. And that's all I'm trying to do is I create my setup from the side, and all I'm trying to do is work that setup into the ball.
My buddy Ben's got a question here for you.
Billy, as the resident clothing aficionado around here, I wanted to ask you, as one of the better dressed golfers on the tour, I would say, you seems like you guys have embraced the TGL walk-in as a fashion moment.
Yeah.
Have you talked to your guys about that, or is that something that you are embracing?
Yeah, listen, I mean, I think, everyone's so used to just seeing us in golf clothes, maybe some workout clothes from time to time. They catch us coming out of the trailer. But, I think it's just another way to show our personalities, show who we are. I mean, you see the clothes Adam Scott wears. I mean, it's very Malbon-like, very big, very, lot of room, lot of space. For me, I've always been a Ralph Lauren fan. Obviously, I've been sponsored by them for 16 years. Growing up as a kid, we didn't have money to buy like brand new Ralph Lauren out of shop. So we're going to shop at TJ Maxx and some of those stores, discounted stores where, when they were low on, or their product was sort of low in another store, that's where they went. And we bought them at a massive discount. So I've always been a Ralph Lauren fan as a kid and loved it. And so, as I've said, 99.9% of the clothes I own is Ralph Lauren. I think the only thing I don't own that's Ralph Lauren are socks and underwear.
Wow. Does that get you excited to get dressed even for like tour event stuff? Because you have a partner like Ralph Lauren that has the apparel catalog that they do?
Yeah, listen, I'm very much, I don't like wearing the same thing twice. I like looking different, wearing a different set of shirts and pants, on a routinely basis. I don't want someone to see me wear something that I wore a month ago. I'm very lucky that I have a massive selection of clothes to choose from, and there's some of the stuff they've done. As I've gotten older, I've been drawn more to the classic looks of what was in the 60s and 70s, with really towards Arnold Palmer, with a nice solid firm collar that they've implemented in the last year or two, and I still like wearing stripes, but a lot of stuff I like wearing just some solid stuffs with a nice pair of pants. They've got this like sort of cashmere golf shirt now that I've worn. I wore it during the Players. There's a long sleeve version that I wore a couple times over at the BMW PGA. So I'm more or less towards a classic look. Just because I think as I've gotten older, all the printed stuff that I wore and the stuff along that line, especially with the pants. I don't mind wearing the shorts version, the pants version. There's a lot of prints there and a lot of material that's being shown.
Oh yeah.
My last question for you, Billy, I got to ask. It's a Ryder Cup year. I know how bad you want this. You think maybe the captain? I looked it up. He's only 6 months older than you. You working on Keegan yet?
No, I don't. I've never worked on any captains. I've never worked on anything and tried to talk my way onto a team or sort of swayed, captain. I think every captain, every assistant captain that's been selected over the last decade understands how much a Ryder Cup means to me, how much being part of a team means to me. I think they all understand what I bring to a team. It comes down to me playing more consistent golf and playing at a level that when we get close to the Ryder Cup and that they feel comfortable with choosing me, that, I'm going to, deliver points that are much needed. But I think I'm in a really good spot this year. I think if I can continue to just get better and play consistent golf, I think there are signs that I may be picked. I'm not saying I have any insight, but I'm just saying in sense of signs that I think just going up against Rory McIlroy at the BMW PGA last year and taking him down, making a clutch putt there. I'm not saying the TGL clutch putts, add any weight, but it just shows that in the moment, I'm not afraid of the moment. And that's what I'm saying when I mean signs, that I've never been scared of the moment. I've never shied away from it. I may have not always delivered, but it's a moment that I've always fully embraced. And I felt like for the most part, I've always, been able to rise to the occasion. So,
well, if you just win next week, that takes care of itself.
Yeah, listen, if I play at the end of the day, it's going to come down to playing well in the majors. If I play well in the majors this year, if I can, rack off 2 top 10s, do something like I did last year in the majors, then I think, I'll be in a good spot. But listen, there's so many great guys that I've got to, that are possible selections for the Ryder Cup team that you have to play well all year. You just can't just sort of backdoor your way in. You're going to have to play consistent golf the entire year to make this team. And I think it's going to be a really strong team that goes to Bethpage. And I just hope that I play my way on this team because I would really love to be there and have those New York crowds behind me and getting them, making big putts and hitting big shots and getting them going, because that's something that I live for.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. I know Ben's excited to see what you wear on the golf course. So thank you so much for doing it. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.